expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Bundling car and renter's insurance with Geico is so easy, your neighbors are probably already doing it. But who? Look for the signs. Chances are they live in a home and have a car. They use money and enjoy having more of it. They probably drink lots of lemonade. Lemonade. And they've probably said something suspicious like, "I'm bundling with Geico," or "Stop spying on me with those binoculars." If so, you may want to ask them how easy it was to bundle with Geico. Bundling is easy with Geico. Just ask your neighbors.
Listen, you can't handle the truth.
It's about to go off.
Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare Studios.
Just a bit outside.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call now at 615-844-5600.
Oh, righty then.
Now, the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
Good Tuesday afternoon to you, and yes, it is time for the McFarland Show here on WNSR. Darren and Justin here with you.
Yes, sir.
For the next 2 hours. Devlin is alongside the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio on this kind of dreary last day of January.
It is, and it feels like it. It's appropriate for a change. We've had days in the 70s here in January. Earlier in the month, and we are certainly not there today.
We are not. It will not be there tomorrow either.
No.
So if you're looking for sunny skies and beauty tomorrow, maybe the pool's opening up. That's not happening. It's not happening. Not happening. We had a lot of things to get into today. Tim Corbin. We'll go over to West End.
How about that?
Talk to Tim Korb. And Corbs is what I affectionately known as. Corbs.
Corbs. Okay.
Will join us in about 15 minutes or so. We'll talk about this. It doesn't feel like baseball season, but their season's about to start.
Yeah, a few weeks away. Yeah.
Yes. They always get started, which usually they take some nice warm trips.
Yes.
And play in some nice cool or nice warm tournaments.
Yes. Cool locations.
Arizona.
Warm locations.
California.
Yeah.
Texas.
They're on the Super Bowl.
Hawaii.
Yeah. They follow the Super Bowl line of thinking, going to warm climates here.
Yeah, it's a smart move. And if you have the cloud of Tim Corbin, that's what you should do.
Yes.
Start somewhere nice and warm.
Yes. Well, they're Vanderbilt after all. They're known for, brilliance. That's kind of what they do.
They're smart people?
That's the rumor.
Okay. So he'll join us about 15 minutes. We'll head to Chicago to begin the second hour. We told you a story yesterday about Patrick Mahomes Sr., what he said about the draft process in 2017. We'll talk to someone from 670 The Score at 3 o'clock. It's going to be
I've heard the segment. Have you heard the segment?
No.
I've heard the segment.
And?
Yeah, I mean, it was painful.
He said things blew up after that interview.
After the interview?
Yes.
Yeah, I can imagine. I didn't hear it after the interview. So I heard the actual interview, though.
People were not in a good mood.
They got a chance to do it over, though. They got to do it over. I don't know if Patrick Mahomes is in this next draft, but, at least you get a chance to try again here.
Don't think so. Speaking of that, you've got the Senior Bowl down in Mobile, Alabama. So a lot of folks down there.
Yeah.
Including new Titans general manager Rand Carthen. So a lot of the Titans personnel down there exploring talent. They'll have a high draft pick, the 11th pick overall. Will Levis not going.
Okay.
And apparently some people are saying, that's not good. And he's like, well, I got a broken foot, so I don't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Or a broken toe. I think he said a broken big toe. Let me see.
Listen,
before I just throw that up.
Whatever it is, he doesn't feel comfortable going out there and trying to display his skills in a move that, and listen, we're at
broken
toe. We're at this point in the draft cycle where a bad workout or a bad showing could cost you a few $100,000, if not, a few $1 million. based on where you're drafted. Where you're drafted from, 10th to 23rd, that there's a cost there. There's money involved. So, if he feels like his tape is good enough to stand for itself, then, this is the kind of thing you do. You decide, I've got a toe, I'm not going out there. Or, he's behaving like a pro. He's behaving like a pro already, based on the Pro Bowl roster that I'm sure we'll get to here, as a number of the players over there have also bowed out.
Yep, no doubt about it. Let's see some other things going on. Seems like the D'Amico Ryans to the Texans is becoming the worst-kept secret ever.
Okay.
I don't know what they're waiting for on the announcement, but
all right,
that's where it's going. You might want to just go on and say it.
Nope.
That's cool.
Second interview. Apparently, he's not interested in the Broncos job. He wants to go down to the okay. You go for it, man.
Do you really need a second interview with D'Amico Ryans? You drafted him. He was a part of your organization for like 5 years.
Apparently not for these guys. These guys don't remember that, apparently.
Well, that is a good point.
They weren't there.
They've cleaned house. So
they weren't there.
That's true.
I think Mr. McNair was there, but the wrong McNair. Bob McNair was the owner at the time, so maybe this McNair is not sure, so he needs to meet him a couple of times. So, okay.
Yeah. And speaking of Houston, pretty funny quote I saw from Kelvin Sampson, who is a very, very good college basketball coach. He's been in trouble a lot over the years, but now that there's no more rules, he's cool. I mean, he's cool. When there were rules, he was not good at,
trying to compete,
staying behind that line.
Trying to compete.
He tend to not cross it. He tend to run across it and not stop.
Just trying to compete.
It's like, hey, coach, come on back. Hello, coach. Nope, you can't be in there.
He's gone.
He's gone.
He's gone.
He's gone. He's texting somebody while he's running. You can't do that.
Listen.
But today you can do all that stuff. So he's a really good college basketball coach. But I did read this quote today. It was pretty funny. He said, you know what, Justin?
Yeah.
If you want to be happy for a day,
eat
a steak.
Eat a steak.
That would make me happy for a day.
It's nice.
If you want to be happy for a week, go on a cruise.
Okay.
I went on my first one back in August.
I've not been on one.
For a week. Had a blast.
All right.
That's a true statement. You want to be happy for a month? Buy a car.
Happy for a month.
I've had mine for 4 years now. I'm still happy.
You only get a month of happiness out of the car, apparently? I guess after that, you have to start making payments after that. So
there you go. That's a good
point. The
point.
first payment comes due, then you're not happy anymore.
Yeah. Usually you get that first month off.
Yeah.
So I guess it's when the payments start.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. I just got that too. Good job. Good job by you. Because at first I was like, a month? I still love my car.
Yeah.
4 years later. If you want to be happy forever, though. Forever and ever. You just win a championship.
That's all you got to do,
that's
right?
It. That's
just
it.
win a championship.
That's it.
And get that piece of jewelry, and, that's it. They got you.
If Rick Barnes wants to be happy forever,
just win a chip.
Win a chip.
That's
win the ship, man.
Just win the chip, and that's it.
That's it.
You're set. Happiness for life.
So pretty funny stuff there from Kelvin Sampson. He is, in all seriousness, he is a really good basketball coach. I actually watched the Lady Vols and LSU last night.
I saw a little bit of that as well. Actually,
I didn't watch the whole
game,
but I watched some chunks of it.
Tennessee's defense there, they just had nothing for LSU.
Well, they're the number one team in the land.
I see that.
They're pretty good.
I see that. I thought they were number 3.
They're undefeated. So
okay.
I figured they were number 1.
I saw rank 3 next to the number during the game last night. But
Mulkey's kind of a good coach.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
Kind of got a long track record.
It's working for him.
Yeah.
It's working for him. But, Tennessee just didn't have enough. Did not have enough.
No, they hung. But
it was competitive the whole game, but
they just couldn't.
They couldn't overtake it. No, they had nothing. And for me, it was the defense. They had nothing. They couldn't stop offensive rebound. I mean, it was just every time Tennessee would make a charge, LSU just had answers. And it was frustrating. I felt frustrated for the Lady Vols because they were trying. They just couldn't do anything about it.
We had Butch Spirited on the show. Last week?
We did.
Told us after many, many, many decades.
Yes.
And shaping and reshaping and forming this city like a big ball of clay.
Yeah.
He's had his hands all over this city.
Lots of things.
That he is going to ride off in the sunset, although he said he's going to be a consultant for a while with them.
Work on some of the big things, he said.
But it also looks like today the big news, this is your world.
Yeah.
There's going to be a new mayor.
Eventually, yes.
You know? Not tomorrow.
No, not tomorrow. But earlier today, Nashville Mayor John Cooper did announce that he will not seek re-election for a second term as the mayor of the city of Nashville. Now, we're not going to turn this into a news program. I just want to say, though, Nashville is going to be working on, coming up in August when the election is, Nashville will elect its fourth different mayor in the past 6 years. Okay? So we had one mayor leave in 2018. We all know about that. If you don't, you can look it up. We're not going to dissect all that. Then, Mayor Briley came in. Then he lasted a little while. Then here comes Mayor Cooper. And now we're going to have somebody new. What's interesting about this is they're doing all this in the middle of a stadium negotiation that is still ongoing. That is not a done deal yet. No. So they're hoping it will be a done deal. Yeah. Well, and here's the trick about it, Darren. That's, and something we didn't get into because, at that point we didn't have to. But there's an election coming up in August, not just for the mayor, but for the entire city council. All of them. All of them. There's no gap or lap over, like, oh, well, this time you run, next time I, like they do in Congress. Sometimes. No, all of them. They all go up for vote at the same time. So if they don't get this done by August, that means a whole new set of people potentially could be looking at this deal. And that includes a brand new mayor now and a brand new council. So if the Titans and the city want to go ahead and get this done before the next people come in, it will behoove them to do so before, the next election coming up here in August. In October, really. So that's how your sports world impacts this.
The Broncos, Ian Rappaport, I guess, was on the Pat McAfee show today. And he said the Broncos could end up hiring Sean Payton or Jim Harbaugh.
Say what?
Yeah.
Say what?
Oh, yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
No, Jim already made the promise.
No, he did not make
Jim made the promise to the kids that he was coming.
No, he didn't make a promise.
He didn't say that?
Nope.
What did he say then?
No, if he did, he had his toes crossed and his fingers crossed.
He didn't say that?
He did not mean that.
Didn't we just talk to Bill King a couple of weeks ago? And
he is not.
They made the announcement? Didn't they make the announcement?
Remember this thing about remember this thing about him not speaking with the AD? Like they have a zero relationship.
Bill's expressed that, yeah.
Like zero relationship.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Like they did not have Thanksgiving feast together. They did not exchange Christmas
cards. I thought
cards.
the president was, the liaison between the two.
Well, yeah, but apparently Jim is still flirting. Jim's a flirter.
Oh, okay.
He's a flirter.
I don't know anything about his personal life, but
I think he's been winking at Denver still. Sending text messages.
He's been talking to Denver in his DMs.
I think he's been sliding into some DMs. Some Bronco DMs.
I watch those DMs.
I know. I'm just telling you, it is not a foregone conclusion.
Is he in there under an alias, or is he in there under Captain Comeback?
The problem. This isn't a chat room.
You got to be old school to recognize to know that joke. Get that joke. Captain Comeback was Jim Harbaugh's nickname when he was a quarterback in the NFL.
What was the name? What was it? Sliced bread? They got Jimbo Fisher in a tizzy.
I don't remember.
Wasn't it sliced bread on one of those?
I think so. Who was Ron
boards?
Mexico? I forget who that was.
Well, that was Vic, wasn't it?
Was that Michael Vick?
Yeah.
Who was Ron Mexico?
Yeah.
Anyway. Sorry, we're veering off the path in a big way.
Well,
here.
If Michigan, the problem is they know they really can't do better, right? And so he's kind of got him over a barrel because I'm sure there's people over in Ann Arbor like would love I don't know, maybe they don't.
Would love to do what? Just move
man,
on?
Just go. Like, we're tired of you always flirting and going and talking to people.
Oh.
If you ain't happy, man, then leave.
Are they tired of beating Ohio State too?
Yeah.
Are they tired of that?
That's what I'm saying. It's phony. It's all phony.
No, I don't think they're tired at all.
2 years in a row?
Yeah, they're not tired of that. No.
You're right.
No, they're good. I'm sure Ohio State wishes him the best. Devlin's over there. Don't you wish Jim Harbaugh the absolute best, Devlin, on his endeavors in Denver?
Sure, I guess. I mean, honestly, it really doesn't matter to me that much.
Wait, hold on. Stop.
Let me say this.
Please, sir, please.
I think Michigan fans were happier when Urban Meyer left than Ohio State fans will be when Harbaugh leaves, if that makes sense.
Well, it makes sense. What you're saying is it's not that big a deal. It don't matter what they do. It's all about what you do.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. So the rivalry is so interesting. It really is. That rivalry right there is so interesting. The Ohio State Michigan for the Ohio State fan to give that response in this situation, knowing that they are each other's biggest rival, but the Ohio State position is it doesn't really matter what they do. It's all about what we do anyway. That is interesting.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that. Thank you, Devlin. I appreciate that.
It's probably pretty spot on.
I just find it to be interesting. I'm not arguing with them. I'm just saying I find that to be interesting. That is quite the position to take. That is big brother, little brother 101 right there.
We'll come back. We'll head over to Weston. We'll bring in phenomenal baseball coach, Tim Corbin. He will join us next here on the McFarland Show, WNSR.
Nashville's first curling venue is here at T-Line Nashville. Come check out T-Line Nashville and experience the world's fastest growing winter sport today. Curling is a fun and simple sport that's a perfect outing for friends, corporate events, families, or parties. T-Line also has classic bowling and modern bowling mini games. With over 20 HD TVs, you can come watch your favorite teams and some of the best food and drinks here in Nashville in the large bar and grill area. They also have an outdoor area with a fire pit, and you can't forget the live music. T-Line Nashville is a one-stop shop for a great night out. Located at 106 Duluth Avenue and online at tlinenash.com. You can book your party now or give them a call at 615-439-1024. That's 615-439-1024. And make sure you give them a follow on Instagram and Facebook at T-Line Nash for all the news, events, and updates. T-Line Nashville. Nashville's first curling venue is here.
Bundling home and car insurance with Geico is so easy, your neighbors are probably already doing it. But who? They may drop little hints like,
beautiful day out. Even more beautiful since we saved by bundling our home and car insurance with Geico.
or,
Yard work is hard. Much harder than bundling with Geico, which was easy.
or it may be even subtler, like,
Speaking of burgers, we bundled our home and car insurance with Geico and saved a bunch of money.
bundling is easy with Geico. Just ask your neighbors.
In uncertain times, you can be certain of this. The Salvation Army is serving those most in need with help and hope. Thanks to your donations, the Salvation Army is helping those affected by COVID-19, those who've lost wages, who have no home to retreat to, who need food, help with utilities, and most of all, hope. To see how you can continue to make a difference, visit GiveWestwood.org. GiveWestwood.org.
Needing a snow day? How about a dough day? Instant games from the Tennessee Lottery are bringing winning flurries and drifts of cold, hard cash. With chances at breathtaking top prizes up to $4 million. Sled to your nearest Tennessee Lottery retailer and score a chance at a dough day. Only from the Tennessee Lottery. Game-changing fun. Please play responsibly.
You have a 90% chance of surviving a lightning strike. You have a 98% chance of surviving a shark attack. You have a 99% chance of surviving a snake bite. But you only have a 50% chance of surviving a crash if you aren't wearing a seatbelt. Your truck may be tough, but a seatbelt makes it tougher. Buckle up in your truck. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
It's a Bill King Show.
If Nick coached another 7-8 years, I would not be shocked at all. I wouldn't be. Now, I'm not predicting it because I don't think you can predict that kind of thing. We don't know that. If he coached to 80 I would not be flabbergasted.
Weekday mornings beginning at 6 on Sports Radio 560 on 95.9 FM.
Back here on the McFarland Show, Darren and Justin here with you on this final day of January. Kicking off a new month, starting tomorrow. We're live here at the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. Don't forget, you can watch us every day on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. You can watch our next guest all the time at Hawkins Field. A lot of their games are shown on television.
Yeah.
You can listen to their games, these airwaves. A lot of things going on with Tim Corbin. He now joins us. Corbs, how you doing?
I'm good, doing good, D. How you doing?
Doing fantastic. It feels like baseball weather outside, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just the way we want it, right?
Every year, it's time for you to kick off your season. Boy, it really feels like baseball weather. But you usually do it right. You go off somewhere nice and warm, although I think you start off this year in, down in Dallas? And right now I think their weather's about the same as ours.
Yeah, well, if you feel like you're going to go at about the same temperature, then you better go inside, and that's what we did. So we're going inside to the Rangers ballpark, and then we go inside to Minnesota the third week to the Vikings stadium. So, yeah, we'll play in situations where at least we know we're going to play.
I haven't been in the new – that's a retractable roof, right?
Right.
The
correct.
new one. I haven't been in the new one. The last time I was there, I think it was when the Predators were playing the Stars, and we caught a couple. In fact, that was when I think Mike Minor pitched a complete game for the Rangers, I believe, that night we went. But they were just building right next door. So is this going to be your first trip to that new stadium?
Yeah, well, I've never seen it before, and we've got a pretty good relationship with them, especially with Kumar now and Jack Leiter being part of that organization. So it'll be good. We play Big 12 teams, open up with TCU, then play Oklahoma State and Josh Holliday the very next day, and then play University of Texas on day 3. So it's going to be pretty firm competition.
Looking at the preseason rankings, looks like the SEC is going to be really down this year, huh?
Yeah, like it always is, right?
Is there a non-SEC team in the top 10? Jeez.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, it is. I mean, I think, you talk about it every year in terms of the strength of the conference, but it might be as good as it's ever been. I say that just because of the influx of kids with college free agency that are coming over to this conference and playing. There's a lot of them, and you got some good players at other schools that, whether it's mid-majors or just other conferences in general, that have worked their way over to the SEC. So from a talent standpoint, we're not void of that. We've got plenty of talent. So it's going to be who plays the best, which team plays the best. And you can buy talent, and you sometimes can buy skill, but you can't buy teams. You got to make teams, and that's why we try to do what we do.
You ain't scared of pressure. So can I put some pressure on you right out of the gates?
That's fine.
We're sitting here on January 31st. Why not? We are taking our little 11U travel baseball team to play in the Slump Busters tournament in Omaha, Nebraska, around the College World Series this year. That's how we're going to end our spring season. I would love for you guys to be out there. I think that would be really cool if you guys were playing in Omaha so we could catch, one or two of your games. Just saying.
Well, that'd be great for both parties. Certainly your group and our group as well. But I remember that. That is true. I mean, every year at that time you get those Slump Buster tournaments, which a lot of 11, 12-year-olds are in the in our hotels. So
really?
I do remember that. Yeah, okay. Sure. So yeah, there's a lot of attention during that time on baseball.
Well, it's deemed the largest youth baseball tournament in the country, and the part that makes me, and believe it or not, in all the stuff over the years, I've been blessed to do what I do between Super Bowls and World Series, and all kinds of national championship games. I've never been to the College World. No one on our team, nobody, not family or a kid, no one has experienced what we're about to experience in Omaha. So that's what has. Yes, we're going out there to play a lot of baseball as well and hopefully win. But nobody's ever experienced this before. That's what I'm really excited for.
Yeah, I think that you will love it as an adult, and certainly the players will like it too. It's just it's just got a festival type feel to it, and Omaha always does that time of year. But that city is so gracious. It's real good people. It's middle part of the country, so it's very accessible to everyone. And just the feeling of baseball at the end of June, particularly from a college standpoint and certainly from an amateur standpoint, is right there. So that's great for everyone.
So to tie this into this interview, you guys didn't end up there last year, and that's probably stuck with you and your kids to the off season. So I'm sure you guys are going to be using that as motivation. And I know you just spoke with the media, and you're never one to shy away from that stuff. It sounds like you are, right? I mean, you guys are actively discussing it, are you not?
Well, we did at the beginning of the year. We just talked about our thoughts and how that season went, but at the same time, everyone's new, including the players that are coming back. They're 12 months older, and I think what you can always gain from a situation like that is experiences and thoughts and ways to kind of trigger your team to move in a more positive direction. And however that happens, I mean, there's always reasons for it. You're playing a better opponent, or you just the timing of when you played and how you played just wasn't right. But it doesn't matter. I mean, I think when we've been able to be part of those environments and be part of them consistently, then I hate to use this word, but there is an expectation with the group. They come in and think, okay, we're always going to be part of that. Well, you're not always going to be part of it. College baseball is at a level now where it's as good as it's ever been all the way around, whether it's mid-major teams, teams outside of our conference, what have you. Everyone's good. So every year is just another opportunity to keep growing. You would think that we get some older kids back, which is very helpful for the group, especially on the pitching side. And I think that's had a lot to do with the maturity and the organization of the group, and you hope that equates into consistent outcomes.
We're speaking with Vanderbilt head coach Tim Corbin on the line with us. Enrique Bradfield Jr. is a fun player to watch. You're around him, though, all the time. You know more than us. When I watch him, I'm like, man, this guy is special. He's dynamic. I think he first or second in the country or something, and stolen bases. I mean, he does a lot of really good things. But if you were talking about him specifically, like I said, because you're around him all the time, I don't see it, but I know you do. You know your players inside and out. What does he need to get better at, Tim?
I just think for a kid like him, he's a runner. And because he's a runner, he's going to hit the ground a lot. And I think as he gets older, it's learning how to use the ground, it's strength. It's the ability to take care of your body, which he does. I mean, he takes care of nutrition. He takes care of strength. He's gotten a lot stronger in the time that he's been here. But every time he steps out on the field, he's got a great acumen for the game. We haven't, and maybe I haven't, seen a center fielder that takes away more balls in my time here. We've had some good ones. But he takes away balls in space in the outfield, and he takes away balls that are leaving the ballpark, which is so unique because when you see that once a year, it's special, and sometimes you don't even get to see it once a year. But he's created those opportunities for himself just because of his competitiveness. But I think from a health standpoint, if he continues to get stronger and health is at the top of the priority list, which it is for him, then he's going to be able to do a lot of special things because there's not a lot of players like him. There's not a lot of players that you saw players like him in the 70s and 80s, but today's player, there are not a lot of Enrique Bradfields that are true center fielders, that are true leadoff hitters, that put the ball in play, that have some strength in their bat because he does. He can hit the ball out, and that can just touch the game in the manner that he can touch it. So he's a very unique individual, and I would say health is just the thing that will always trying to stay healthy and stay on the field are going to be the most important parts because he's just not as big as a lot of people, but at the same time, he's plenty strong.
Coach, this is Justin McFarland, and it's an honor to speak with you. I've obviously covered you for a very long time from afar, but always admire what you've done for the city and for the university as well. I just wanted to ask you about the differences in players now, or kids essentially, between when you walked in the door over there at Vanderbilt over on West End for the first time 20 years ago and now. Are the kids truly the same, or are they a little different nowadays?
Oh, I mean, I think that rather than just say they're different, I would just say that what's around them is different. How amateur baseball is set up is a whole lot different. The team environment is less than what it was even 10 years ago. I think for a young man who wants to play college baseball or professional baseball, it sometimes becomes an individual-driven machine, rather than attaching yourself to a group of people and trying to do something with a group effort. Certainly, social media has interceded in a way that, kids are looking for more attention because they most likely think that that's the way to do it. So I think we as adults have a lot to do with that, though, because these kids don't grow up and just start making decisions on their own. Adults create the environment for these kids to play in, and I don't think we've done the best job of creating team-like environments for these kids so you can really see and really understand what the game is about. That's why it makes a lot of sense for me when we're recruiting kids to look at kids that play other sports, because they're thrust into team environments just naturally, whether it's football, basketball, what have you. And I always have felt like that's the strength of a player. It's a strong dynamic. I think that's missing. But, kids are kids. I think, as a teacher, I think it's just about helping these guys grow, trying to get them centered on a day-to-day basis without chasing bright, shiny objects. It's more about really doing small things really, really well. It's about how you get yourself ready for a day and your organization mentally. And if you can control a lot of those things, you give yourself great discipline, and discipline gives you great freedom inside the game of baseball. When you arrive disheveled or not organized and not in control of yourself, it's very difficult to jump on any field of competition and have any type of consistency. So I think, the older I get, we certainly teach team. I mean, team is a huge concept here and always will be a huge concept. We also teach the management of social skills and how you handle yourself as a male, because there's not enough modeling, in my opinion, around for these kids to see that. So we just try to create great foundational skills for these kids so that when they leave here, they're able to survive and be very productive in our society.
Coach, I'm very interested about how you handle pitchers right now in your game, because pitching has changed so much since the first time that you came on the campus over there on West End. Darren and I, and certainly you, sir, remember when complete game pitchers were just a part of the game. Now it seems like pitchers are so incredibly specialized. Do you factor that in? Do kids want to be middle relievers when they come see you? Because I'm sorry, sir, and I'm chuckling a little bit because that would never come into my psyche. If I wanted to be a pitcher, that would come and I say, Coach, I want to be the best middle reliever in baseball. Do kids still think like that, or do you have to? How do you deal with that?
Well, I mean, when you bring in pitchers, you're going to bring them in greater numbers than any other position on the field. So if you have 15, which we do, or 16, which we do, then everyone's going to share the baseball to some extent, whether you start the game or finish the game. I think every kid just wants a role, and we try to keep it that simple. We don't look at everyone on our team as, okay, this is a Friday night starter, Saturday night starter, Sunday night starter. If that happens, it happens. But I think the main thing is trying to build these guys up into roles that they can handle. And if it's someone that is potentially a starter, then it's building his volume. It's a once-a-week touch and doing other things along the way during the course of the week. but it's just building up his volume, developing his pitches, obviously, because if you're a starter and you're going to go through the lineup a time or 2 times or potentially 3 times if you're really gifted, then you have to have the management command of 3 pitches. That's more of a long distance runner. And you get into the middle, you get into the end, those are your sprinters. Those are the guys that might touch the ball more frequently during the course of the week. Their volume might not be as much. They may eventually be starters for you, but they also may be developing other pitches that will move them towards a starter. So there's some factors to it, but I think it's all based around the kid's abilities and how he helps the team the most. And if you feel like you got a kid, we've had kids before that potentially could have been starters, but we felt like it benefited our team most to have that person in a position of end of game or middle of the game where we thought he could help us and where he could flourish as an individual.
Coach, lastly for me, I wanted to ask you about a unique experience that you had several years ago, and that was coaching for the USA team in 2006 that won the gold at the Collegiate National Championship. And I know a lot of coaches do not get the opportunity to do that. What do you remember about that experience and that very brief time with that particular team?
Well, I think first off is just being able to see Cuba. I always wanted to see it, and you just love the country and love the people. They're very passionate about baseball, obviously. I think the other thing is I've gotten to do it twice, in 2000 and 2006, and then we took the team over to Japan in 2009. I just think playing other countries and see the style of play. The Japanese are remarkable from a defensive standpoint. They just don't drop the ball. Their footwork, how they throw the ball, they're just so under control and so disciplined as players. But what I remember most about that team was just the talent. I think, you look at talent and you look at – we had 4 different shortstops on that team. We had Crawford from San Francisco Giants, Darwin Barney, who was a Gold Glover, Cozart, who played with the Reds, and Todd Frazier was a shortstop back then. He was from Rutgers, but he played first and third for a lot of organizations. And then, of course, we got to coach 3 of our Vanderbilt guys, and David Price and Pedro Alvarez and Casey Weathers. So it was a special team. Got to coach with great people: Mark Machtolf at Gonzaga, Jim Schlossnagel, who's now at Texas A&M, and Tom Slater, who was back then the coach at Auburn. So it was a good group of people, got great relationships from that. And like Julio Bourbon, who played at Tennessee years ago, was a center fielder on that team. And Maggie and I just had dinner with he and his wife Amber the other night. So these relationships go a long way. The experience happened a while ago now, but at the same time, you continue to develop your relationships and talk to these people, which is really, really cool.
That's awesome. Tim, we're really excited for another baseball season. I know you're about 2.5 weeks away from getting things cranked up down in Arlington, Texas. That'll be a whole lot of fun, and we're looking forward to talking to you throughout this baseball season. So thanks for doing this.
Well, I appreciate D. Yeah, thank you very much, D. Always good talking to you. Thank you.
All right, Tim. Thank you. That is Tim Corbin. He is simply the best. I don't know what else to say.
Wow.
If you don't,
there's so much there.
If you don't believe us, then just listen to his interviews and go look at his resume.
Yeah. 800 wins.
It all stacks up.
Jeez,
pretty
800
good.
wins at Vanderbilt alone. He's got more wins than that, but 840 wins at Vanderbilt.
Yeah, they will start off with a college baseball showdown February 17th through the 19th there in Arlington, Texas, which is the new stadium of the Rangers. It was built directly next door.
Yeah.
I think the other one was called Globe Life. I don't know what this one was. And I've been to both. Yeah. Well, I haven't been to the new one. I went to the other one. The reason they built this, not because the other one you went in, you're like, it's a dump.
Yeah.
No, they built it because if you went to a game in July, day game in July, you're like,
rotisserie.
I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Rotisserie.
Too hot.
Yes. Yeah.
So they had to build a roof.
And the ferocious storms, too.
Yeah.
The storms would come down there hot and heavy.
Yeah.
In Texas very quickly.
Shut the roof and you'll have baseball.
Hey, keep going.
All right. We'll come back. We'll keep going. If you would like to call us, we're open the rest of the hour, 615-844-5600. Your phone calls and more discussions next here on The McFarland Show.
Individual rates, coverage, offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions, not available in all areas. If you're a small business owner, listen up. Pi Insurance wants to give you one of those aha moments, the kind that could save you money. Workers' comp is probably one of the biggest costs you face. But did you know that insurance providers have flexibility in setting their prices? That's right, but many don't bother giving small businesses the savings you deserve. Instead, you can get lumped in with other businesses and overcharged. Pi Insurance was created to change that. With Pi, you get a quote tailored specifically to your business, and you could save up to 30% with no hassle and no hidden fees. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. Take 3 minutes to see how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote at iwantpi.com. That's iwantpie.com.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's 4hims.com/joy for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/JOY.
Hey Nashville, start your day the right way with Bongo Java Cafe, located in the lobby of the Omni Nashville Hotel. Bongo Java is Nashville's oldest local coffee company. Get your day started with a freshly baked muffin and wash it down with a hot cup of dark roast or hair of the dog blend. With free Wi-Fi, you can get some work done while enjoying a toasted breakfast sandwich. Beat the traffic, treat yourself at Bongo Java Cafe, located in the lobby of the Omni Nashville Hotel, 5th Avenue, downtown Music City.
Five-state forecast.
Your exclusive Nashville Sports Radio WNSR Sky Scan forecast for this afternoon calls for cloudy skies. There's a chance of rain, our high 39. Rain or freezing rain is likely tonight. Our low should be 30 under cloudy skies. Wednesday, there's a slight chance for rain or freezing rain, our high 42. Utilizing the resources of the WeatherBug Network on Nashville Sports Radio, I'm WNSR's Rod Tanner.
Sports Radio WNSR.
This is the Greg Pogue and John Burton Show.
What's great about bowling is you can bowl well into your latter years.
Even now, I get that thing you sit it on and it rolls down, and I get the bumper guards on the side. I think that's probably the only way you can beat Zach. See, I didn't.
I heard you.
I didn't mean that.
I know sold you. That's okay.
I didn't mean it.
You got a two-piece coming with a biscuit.
Greg Pogue and News Channel 5's John Burton, WNSR. Nashville Sports Radio.
844-5600 is how you get in touch with us the rest of this hour. We'll head to Chi-Town to be at the second hour of the program. Back here on the McFarland Show. Speaking of the phones, let's go to Clay in Nashville. Clay, what's up?
Good afternoon, boys. I've got to preface what I want to say about Tim Corbin with this is all what I'm going to say. This is all pre my banishment from Vanderbilt sports.
Okay.
All right.
Because y'all know about the promo on the channel. But anyway, guys, I heard I got in the car and I heard most of the interview. I wanted to just share a quick Tim Corbin story with you as it relates to me. I think he got to Darren, correct me if I'm wrong. I think he came to Vanderbilt in 2002. Is that correct?
I was to say, it's coming up on every bit of 2 decades. So that sounds right.
The bio says first season was 2003.
Okay, so that's what I said. Coming up on 2 decades. So, yeah. Yep.
Okay, so probably, and I've never purchased season tickets for baseball. I do go to games, or did go to games here and there when I, could and things like that. But the first time I ever met Tim Corbin, was at a men's basketball game, Memorial Gym, probably the 03-04 season then, if he started in the 03 baseball season, and that was a pretty special team with Matt Freege that went to the Sweet 16. And he was sitting in Section L behind the Vanderbilt bench, maybe 5 or 6 rows back, and I went up to him and introduced myself to him. And this man never forgets a name. I'll preface what I'm getting ready to say with that.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple years later, I want to say, you know, I saw him at another basketball game, and since I don't go to or didn't go to many baseball games, purchase season tickets, things like that, I went up to him again, you know, to talk to him and stuck my hand out. And he said, Clay, I know exactly who you are. You're one of Vanderbilt's best fans. This guy does not forget a name, guys.
Oh, no. He's a steel trap when it comes to that.
I've told Tim Corbin to his face before that he should be our AD. And I wonder, and this, I think Candace is doing a fine job, but I just wonder, I think Coach is going to probably maybe coach a few more years, and I wonder if that would be something he would be interested in doing at Vanderbilt when he does move on. But, you know, for the last, with the way Vanderbilt's basketball program has fallen off a little bit, and Clark Lee hopefully, you know, is building something, you know, towards the positive in football. But for the last several years, Tim Corbin is Vanderbilt sports. That's what he, you know, really has built there. He's built a dynasty. You've got Alabama in football. You've got Kentucky in basketball. And in my opinion, you've got Vanderbilt in college baseball. He's the best college baseball coach in America, in my opinion. I have as much respect for that guy as I do for anybody. So I wanted to share that, and I enjoyed the interview, and I will look forward to many more from him this baseball season.
As will us. Thank you very much, Clay. Appreciate the phone call. I don't have anything to push back on. I mean, it's
well,
if you've ever been around Tim Corbin, I think very, very, very highly of him.
Mm-hmm.
His wife, Maggie, they're unbelievable people. He's an unbelievable human being. And, you know, everything Clay said, he's the best coach and best college baseball coach in the country because he's been doing it for a long – by the way, his second year on the job, again, we just established this is 2 decades now.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt baseball, second year on the job, he took them to the Super Regionals.
Yeah.
He was one step away from Omaha.
Yeah.
That was in his second
very special.
year.
It's very special.
This wasn't a slow climb.
Yeah.
You know, year 12, Tim Corbin's teams break through and start being it, right? I mean, he's had an impact basically from jump.
Yeah.
And so he's been doing it for a long time. But as he said, you heard it in the interview, today's athlete is different.
Yeah.
The landscape of college baseball is different, right? I mean, we know the SEC's good. It's always been good.
It is.
But now you even got, you know, you've got the Tennessees of the world.
Yeah.
And they're a powerhouse. Arkansas and Ole Miss.
Yeah.
We're back in the earlier days. LSU was the force in baseball.
I remember that.
LSU was a powerhouse baseball program.
Mm-hmm.
And there have been, Mississippi State has obviously been really, really good over the years.
They're
but
the other one, probably.
now, they're all, it's like,
Yeah. Well,
10 teams in the SEC are just juggernauts.
Yeah. Oh, it's loaded there. But I will say, what struck me about the interview is when I talked to him about this 2006, baseball roster, this USA Baseball roster, he was able to go up and down that lineup without even flinching about it. He named literally about half the lineup and all of the coaches. And I know it is because I've got the roster in front of me while he's naming off the names. And this was 17 years ago. By the way, with a guy who has coached hundreds of people between now and 17 years ago, and he's nailing it. Like right on the nose. He's not fuzzy or confused by a single name.
Yep.
That's pretty special.
All right, we'll come back and put a bow on the first hour. Doug, we'll get to you on the other side as you listen to the McFarland Show on WNSR.
When was the last time you did something fun with family, friends, coworkers, and clients? What if I told you about a place under one roof that offers affordable entertainment for all ages? That's what you'll find at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers in Donaldson, Hermitage, Tusculum, Hendersonville, and Murfreesboro with bowling, games, food, drink, and entertainment for all ages. Enjoy an enhanced experience in Hendersonville or Murfreesboro where they feature additional fun with bumper cars, laser tag, roller skating, and more. All locations are open 7 days a week, including holidays. Visit online at strikeandspare.com. Strike and Spare, where fun is bowling.
Are you tired of your current vehicle? Maybe looking for a new or pre-owned vehicle? Hey guys, it's Zach. Hayes Nissan of Rivergate is the best choice for your vehicle needs. Located at 1550 Gallatin Pike North in Madison, Hayes Nissan of Rivergate has been serving the Middle Tennessee community for over 3 decades. That gives you confidence that Hayes Nissan of Rivergate can find the perfect vehicle for your lifestyle and your budget. Their friendly and knowledgeable staff will make sure you are taken care of. I should know because I've seen it firsthand. Every vehicle I've purchased has been from Hayes Nissan of Rivergate, and I love the entire process. Now, I don't want you to forget about their award-winning parts and service department. It has everything you need to get you back on the road. Go visit them on the web at nissanofrivergate.com. They're open there 24/7, 365 days a year. Or give them a call at 615-865-7220. Again, that number is 615-865-7220. That's Hayes Nissan of Rivergate, where your dollar always goes farther.
Attention. If you owe back taxes to the IRS, this message is for you. Congress has passed $80 billion in funding to more than double the size of the IRS. 87,000 new IRS employees means more audits, collections, and penalties. This will make the IRS larger than the Pentagon, State Department, FBI, and Border Control combined. Now is the time to call Civic Tax Relief.
I owe the IRS $37,000. Civic Tax Relief basically represented me against the IRS, and by the time everything was completed, I didn't owe the IRS anything.
Their tax resolution specialists can stop the IRS from taking money out of your paycheck.
With Civic Tax Relief, they were able to save me upwards of $80,000 that I would have had to pay.
For your free tax relief information, call now. 800-841-0908. 800-841-0908.
I would recommend anyone who has a tax problem to contact Civic Tax Relief.
800-841-0908.
With 13 locations nationally, including Smyrna, Star Leasing Company is a semi-trailer one-stop shop and the perfect place to build a career as a semi-trailer mechanic. Seeking candidates with all levels of experience, Star Leasing Company has a semi-trailer technician trainee program with sign-on and quarterly bonuses and other opportunities such as $1,000 for having a yearly physical. The package also includes 401k with company match, health, dental, and vision insurance, competitive pay with weekly paychecks, and paid holidays and time off. Star Leasing Company, not your typical semi-trailer leasing company. Visit starleasing.com to learn more.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
I just saw a picture of Jim McMahon.
Jim McMahon is one of those guys that lived hard, okay?
I know. Look, I know. I understand. There's some rough, humble miles on that body.
Yeah.
Some on the field, some off the field.
Jim McMahon, high mileage.
Oh, there's a high mileage.
High mileage in that vehicle.
It is not highway miles.
The McFarland Show with Darren and Justin on Nashville Sports Radio WNSR.
We'll head to Chi-Town in just a bit. Kick off the second hour. Let's go to Doug. Doug, what's up?
Good afternoon to the McFarland boys. Excuse me, men. McFarland men.
Hi, Doug.
And I apologize for being a little late. I meant to call earlier because I know Justin has to do a little bit of weather. He has to do the trifecta now. News, weather, and sports.
And traffic, man. I'm doing it all these days.
Yeah, but there's a little extra in your check this Friday for it, so just stand by.
Well, I hope so, man. I hope so.
If not, just a good thank you card. Same thing.
Thank you, sir.
My question is, I'm curious on what your thoughts are on Stetson Bennett not going to Mobile, yet, UT's quarterback, he goes. I know that, Mr. Bennett has a thing, you know, it's a whole other subject. But
a little dust up in Dallas.
Yeah, just a little situation. You know, you just call it the situation.
Yeah.
So if, with that being aside, don't you think it would have been a good deal for him to acquaint himself with some NFL talent, scouts, coaches, just to say, hey, you know, I know you saw me on TV. I got a couple of natties, but can I talk to you, or just play? Or I just thought it was a bad idea to bow out. That's just an opinion of mine, because this is about money now. You're not just playing for national championships. It's about basically trying out to be a backup quarterback in the league. Yet, you know, you choose to, you know, give them the old, I'm good. So how do you guys feel about that?
Well, he may have hurt his, you know, knee or something running from the police. So I don't know. Maybe he's.
Hey, you know,
what?
If I had a drum, I'd do a little drum roll right there, because that was a jump thump right there.
I'm just saying.
Darren, for real?
But
video proof.
In his defense, I don't think running was his high point at the time.
No.
So
I think what it is, in all seriousness, Doug, today's athlete just has a different mentality. And every time we think it's going to hurt somebody, when they don't show up to something, they bypass the combine, they bypass the Senior Bowl, they bypass something, fill in the blank, the whole draft process, something. In the end, most of the time, it really just doesn't bite them in the butt. It just doesn't. So,
but there's so many options now. You have the one-on-one workout. So, I mean, clock don't lie, film don't lie. You have guys that are recovering from injuries where if you went, say, this week to the Senior Bowl, you may still be recovering from a little old, you know, little bump or bruise, and then you do a one-on-one with someone and you perform better, because a couple of weeks out of lifting, getting beat, getting knocked on, does the body good.
Yeah.
It's better than milk.
There is a pro day they'll have in
There
Athens.
is.
So
what is he going to prove at the Senior Bowl that coaches don't already know about him? I don't think there's a whole lot of upside for him doing anything at the Senior Bowl.
But on the flip side, why would Hendon Hooker go?
Well, that's a whole other thing. But
maybe to show him that he's healthy. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Walk around a little bit.
Good question.
That's all. I was just wondering, you know, why does one quarterback feel that I can go and make a better name for myself, and the other one's like, I'm good.
Yep.
All right.
Appreciate it as always.
Thanks, Doug.
Doug, thank you. Hour number 2 is coming up next.
On air and online, Sports Radio WNSR, Brentwood, Nashville.
Tyree Nichols' stepfather, Rodney Wells, says after watching the video of his son's arrest, he got the sense that the officers involved knew how the encounter would end before they approached Tyree's car.
It was like they was on a mission, like they had already determined the outcome of what they wanted to do.
A 6th officer involved in the arrest has been relieved of duty. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu welcomed Secretary of State Anthony Blinken to Israel.
This alliance is something that President Biden is committed to. I've known him for 40 years. He's a true friend of Israel, a true champion of this alliance, as are you.
Blinken will meet tomorrow with Palestinian leader Mahmoud Abbas. President Biden's in Baltimore to kick off a major rail tunnel construction project, which will be funded by the bipartisan infrastructure bill. At least 59 people are dead after a suicide bomber struck a crowded mosque in Pakistan. This is ABC News.
Never completely ready to adopt a teen.
For late nights writing English papers.
For your teen's music taste.
For dinners, where they talk more on their phone than with you.
For the first time, they call you Mom.
You're never completely ready to adopt a teen, and you can't imagine the reward.
To learn more about adopting a teen, visit adoptuskids.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Adopt U.S. Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
You've messed up your daughter's haircut. Do you A, get spiritual?
Mom, where's the mirror?
Beauty is within. Oh.
B, find the positives?
Less time blow drying, more time texting?
Or C, show empathy?
Mom, you really don't have to.
Twinsies.
I kinda love it. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all areas. Actual Pi customer.
As a small business, we're always looking for ways that we can offer the quality product and get some cost savings.
Meet Michelle from J.J. Pfister Distilling Company, a small business in California. When looking for workers' comp coverage tailored to the company's needs, she discovered Pi Insurance.
We heard about Pi Insurance being geared for a small business, gave Pi a call, and ended up switching.
Is your small business overpaying for workers' comp insurance? See how much you can save at iwantpi.com. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate, so your workers' comp audit experience is simplified.
We saved about 30% off of our workers' comp insurance when we switched to Pi.
It's as easy as pie to get the savings you deserve. What are you waiting for? Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote in 3 minutes at iwantpi.com. That's iwantpie.com.
Listen, you can't handle the truth. It's about to go off. Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare studios.
Just a bit outside.
Now back to the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call now at 615-844-5600.
Oh, righty there.
Now the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
Second hour of the program here on this Tuesday. Hope everybody's having a good day so far. Remember, just be cognizant of the weather.
Well,
throughout the day, throughout the night.
It's going to start with the freezing rain around 6 p.m. this afternoon, and it'll be done around 2 a.m. in the morning. So just heads up. Could be a little icy on the way in. And the schools have to make some major decisions as well.
Yep, no doubt.
So we'll see
it.
what's going on with that.
Our next guest, we're heading up to Chicago. I told him this yesterday. Now, Ryan Porth, who's going to join us, he's got a wealth of sports knowledge, Justin.
Okay.
But I said to him in a text yesterday, I said, you know, when I think of Chicago, I think of probably the best film producer, in my opinion, ever, who was from Chicago, John Hughes.
Okay.
May rest in peace.
Okay.
A lot of big hits. Of course, I'm an 80s guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of hits in the 80s from John Hughes and 90s.
Okay.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah, sure.
And Ryan said I had to Google him. He had to Google who John Hughes was. I just felt so old. I really did. Now Ryan Porth joins us from 670 The Score up in Chicago. Ryan, what's going on?
Oh, nothing much. You know, I've enjoyed a lot of John Hughes movies over the years, just not knowing it was John Hughes, nor that he was from Chicago.
Yeah. If you notice, I mean, think about Ferris Bueller's Day Off, The Breakfast Club.
Chicago.
I mean, it is Chicago.
It's all in the movies.
Christmas Vacation, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Planes, Trains, Automobiles, yes.
Yep.
Yep. There's a reason, because I've watched documentaries on him. They were like, come on out to Hollywood, do it out here. And he's like, nah,
I'm good.
How about I do it in Chicago?
Stay right here.
Where I live. That's why. That's why a lot of famous movies out of Chicago. You know, we ended the show yesterday with a quote that was on your station yesterday coming from Patrick Mahomes Sr. about the 2017 draft. And boy, that was painful just to read. We were not privy to that interview. How did that go over in your market? And fill in our audience on what happened.
All right, so Patrick Mahomes drafted 10th overall in the 2017 NFL Draft by the Kansas City Chiefs. Pat Mahomes Sr. came on yesterday on Parkinson Spiegel here on 670 The Score and stated that he and Patrick and the family fully expected the Chicago Bears to draft Patrick Mahomes 3rd overall in the 2017 draft, that the Bears told Mahomes that they would draft him 3rd overall in the draft, and we all know what happened. Mitch Trubisky goes 2nd overall to the Bears after they traded up from 3 to 2nd overall, and we all know how those two careers have panned out. Patrick Mahomes is arguably the greatest that we've seen just from a talent perspective at the quarterback position, and Mitch Trubisky, well, he's on his 3rd NFL team already, and he'll probably double that by the end of his career. So, yeah, those comments didn't go over so well. and it's not something that was necessarily new. There was a report back in 2020 that came out saying that, not as direct and not from this exact source, that the Bears had told Mahomes that they were planning to draft him or that he was their top quarterback. But this is from the quarterback's father's mouth that the Bears told Patrick Mahomes in the pre-draft process that they would take him and that Mahomes was expecting it. And also Mahomes wanted to be a Bear. Pat Mahomes Sr. saying yesterday that his son wanted to be a Bear going into the draft. And when the Chiefs played the Bears for the first time after that draft, I think that game was in 2020, Patrick Mahomes counting up to 10 after a touchdown pass, which was the number pick that he was selected with in 2017, kind of mocking the draft process and, really rubbing it in their face. So it's a sore subject still to this day because the Bears, quite frankly, have never had a star franchise quarterback, and we're watching in front of our eyes Patrick Mahomes do some ungodly things every single week.
Yeah. Were the Chicago police watching that cold lake to make sure people weren't jumping into it, Bears fans, after hearing that interview? Because like you said, it's not exactly new news, but when it's coming from the ultimate horse's mouth, like you talk about ripping open, a scab or a wound, reopening it, that would be it yesterday.
Oh, 1,000%. And Danny Parkins and Matt Spiegel, the afternoon co-hosts of the show after Pat Mahomes Sr. was detailing all of this, you could just see on the video stream feed that we had, they were just dying inside, and they were audibly just beside themselves that the Bears had told Mahomes that they would take him at number 3, and instead they ended up with Mitch Trubisky. And I think the wound would be a little deeper if not for a highlight reel season from Justin Fields. Still the jury is out on Justin Fields and whether or not he'll ever be a true franchise quarterback. But there is at least some hope with Justin Fields that they never had with Mitch Trubisky here. But still, you're talking about one of the all-time greats in NFL history that should have been playing at Soldier Field for the last 5 seasons.
As we laughed yesterday, not only did they not take Mahomes, don't forget, they also passed on Watson, too.
That's what I can't get over.
Which I know,
I can't forgive that.
We've learned things about Deshaun, but I'm saying just go back to that time. They passed over both of those guys.
Yes.
To trade up to get Trubisky. Yikes.
To get a guy who started for, one year, maybe a little bit more at North Carolina and was really kind of a combine guy who really broke out and didn't really fly up draft boards until then. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a sore subject in this city that they've never had that true quarterback.
Let me ask you this real quick, just because this happened, and I'm just curious how it's perceived in your market. The passing of Bobby Hull. I don't need to go through his resume as a hockey player. It was unbelievable, right? Hall of Fame through and through, right? As a human being, not so much. Not so much. There's a lot of stuff, we'll say.
Yeah.
So how did you guys, because he spent so much time as a member of the Blackhawks, how did you guys choose to, I guess, talk about Bobby Hull?
Well, the shows on the air yesterday and a little bit today have not really celebrated him. As David Hall from our morning show so eloquently put it this morning, saying he was a nearly flawless hockey player, but he was a highly flawed man. And I couldn't think of a better way to put it. He was a wife beater. He made some just awful comments in Moscow newspapers back in the 90s. And the Blackhawks still ran him out as a representative of the organization for many years. I think all the way up until these last couple years. He was kind of a spokesperson and a representative of the team and the franchise. But yeah, the past is something that you cannot look past. Off the ice. And yeah, we didn't have, as a station, one guest on to highlight his career. The guests, or I should say the hosts, handled it all themselves and had some transparent conversations on the air about why they're not going to celebrate, him being one of the, statistically one of the greatest hockey players, because all of that good on the ice has been tarnished by all the off-ice transgressions.
Since we're on the hockey subject, we've talked about this on the show, and I've even brought this up, and Justin was a witness to one of my dear friends who works in the NFL, arguing that teams don't tank. And I said, oh, no, sir. I respectfully disagree. Teams do tank for players. Speaking of that, are the Blackhawks going to trade Kane and Taves at the deadline? And when is Connor Bedard Day? When do they celebrate that in Chicago?
Well, I don't know if enough people in the city know who Connor Bedard is.
Really?
So I don't think he's –
No.
Oh,
not
totally. Absolutely. I mean, this is – here in the last 5 minutes is the most hockey talk that I've heard on either 670 The Score or WNSR in the last, 12 months.
Okay.
But that's neither here nor there. I would guess Patrick Kane is a lot more likely to get traded than Jonathan Taves. And I'm kind of rooting personally for it to go right up to the deadline, because the day after the NHL trade deadline, which is March 3rd, March 4th, the Nashville Predators are here in Chicago. And I've got tickets to that game, and I would love to see what the pulse is like in that building the day after they trade away one, if not both, of their franchise players that won 3 cups with them. Obviously, the franchise is in a completely different state now than what it was when they won those Stanley Cups. But, I mean, Kane and Taves are two of the only reasons why Blackhawks fans really have to go to United Center to watch any game. So I'm very interested to see if those go right up to the deadline. And honestly, I've kind of chuckled to myself here in the last month or so, because they've started winning games after going for a long stretch of losing every game and losing every game badly. They're kind of playing themselves out of having the top percentage for the lottery come June. So I'll be interested to see if here in February they go back into the tank before the trade deadline.
Right, it's good to talk to you. I've been listening to 670 since the WMAQ days, if you can find anybody in the building who still remembers that. But I know it's been a long time ago.
Absolutely.
So it's good to talk to you, sir. I wanted to ask you about what the two football franchises in town for our cities have in common, the Titans and the Bears. They are both looking at stadium projects, although they are looking at them in very, very different ways. The Titans looking at public money to build a brand new dome here right next to the current stadium, where the Bears, in the meantime, are looking at building a brand new dome way out of town. Can you talk to me about the reaction from Bears fans about the potential of this team moving out of Soldier Field?
Yeah, it's obviously been mixed. You have a lot of people who are in the inner part of Chicago, around the Loop, that go to Soldier Field every Sunday for Bears games, and now they would be expected to hop on a train line to go out to Arlington Heights, which is probably about a 45-minute drive on a game day, maybe 30 minutes if you're lucky, but 30, 45 minutes out of town.
So be like going to Spring Hill or be going to Murfreesboro from Nashville.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty accurate. And if you've been to Boston, it's probably Boston to Foxborough, something of that ilk. But a lot of the big cities are doing this. Boston with Foxborough. The new Rams and Chargers Stadium isn't in downtown LA. It's out in Inglewood. You think of Meadowlands for the Jets and Giants. So this is not uncommon for big market teams to do this. And the biggest benefit to the Bears to doing this is that it would be their own stadium. the Soldier Field property is owned by the city of Chicago, so the Bears don't really benefit from all the from all the concerts that are at Soldier Field or the alcohol sales or things like that. And Soldier Field, I've been to a few events there here in the last year or so, and it's a fine stadium, but it's definitely unique in the sense that they've done a lot of renovating to it. Obviously, they kicked the Bears out for a couple of years down to Champaign to renovate Soldier Field and make it what it is today. But it's the smallest stadium capacity-wise in the National Football League. And you go out to Arlington Heights and make it a huge development with a stadium and a sports book and a bar scene, and there's a train line that has a stop right there at the property that the team has already purchased. It is an absolute no-brainer for the Bears to do this and go out to Arlington Heights. They'd have all the big events just like Nashville would. Chicago would get a Super Bowl. They'd get the Final Four. They'd get all the big events that you expect in a dome stadium that they can't get right now for obvious reasons.
I guess 670 Score is probably going to talk about this, and we're getting ready to talk about it. Looks like there's breaking news in the NFL, Ryan. Schefter's reporting that the Broncos have found their next head coach.
The Broncos have found their next head coach. Is it Sean Payton?
It is.
Oh, wow.
It is.
Okay.
My Lord.
Yep.
Okay.
Guess you got some work to do on your station. We're going to start.
I guess so.
Yep. Hey, we appreciate the visit in all sincerity. We'll talk to you down the road. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. Darren, Justin, good to talk to you guys.
That is Ryan Porth, 670 The Score up in Chicago. And, yes, Adam Schefter is reporting that the Saints and Broncos are finalizing compensation in return for Sean Payton being their next head coach. How about that?
Going all in here with Russell Wilson as the quarterback. This is the help that he was looking for here.
Okay, we're wide open the rest of the hour. 615-844-5600. We'll take your phone calls and discuss more of this next on The McFarland Show.
Slim's Tender Mac Bowls are back. We start with a 3-cheese blend to make our delicious mac and top it with chopped hand-breaded tenders and Colby Jack cheese. Try the Tender Mac Bowl meal or the Buffalo Tender Mac Bowl meal, both served with Texas toast and a medium drink. But hurry, they're only around for a limited time. Download the Slim Chickens app to order and earn rewards.
Located at 5410 Murfreesboro Road in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers is one-stop shopping for all your liquor, beer, and wine needs and has been a multiple winner annually in the Best of Rutherford County voting for Best Liquor Store and Top Wine Shop. Featuring the lowest prices, the best customer service with unsurpassed knowledge, City Slickers offers the largest craft beer selection in Rutherford and southeastern Davidson counties and has beer on tap at its Growler filling station. City Slickers also sells mixers, sodas, snacks, tobacco products, and the Tennessee Lottery, and can place special orders and assist with all your events and even wedding planning. Make sure you follow City Slickers on all their social media or just give them a call at 615-280-7469. That's 615-280-7469. Located in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers.
Are you over 50? Would you like to get up to 33% more income in retirement? Then call now for this free book, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers, from a leading financial firm on maximizing your income in retirement. That's right, free. This free book reveals little-known truths about annuities in simple-to-understand terms that will help you make the right choices before buying an annuity. And it's free. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report summarizing the rates and benefits from financially strong insurers.
Call 800-715-9880.
That's right, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers and Annuity Rate Report, both absolutely free for calling today.
Call 800-715-9880. That's 800-715-9880.
Sponsored by Annuity General. Producers have the appropriate licenses for the products they offer. Increased income is possible using strategies suited to your goals and may require buying multiple annuities and holding them full term.
We're going to get into our routine with Daily Tennessee Jackpot. You got $1? Let's have some fun with it. Let's get those numbers going. How many are we picking? And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. Let's go. All of us Tennesseans are having fun now. Let's play and play.
Work out a win with drawings every day when you play Daily Tennessee Jackpot. Only from the Tennessee Lottery. Game-changing fun. Please play responsibly.
The Jim Rome Show.
I get a lot of vacation. I understand that. However, I don't take a lot of sick days. These things are not one and the same. That was not like I worked 8 straight days or I worked Super Bowl Sunday. I think I'll give myself a day off. I earned it. Hey, and by the way, I could because I have those days. I pride myself in not taking sick days. I hate that. We usually grind through it. But honestly, it was the right thing. In that case, it was the right thing.
The Jim Rome Show. Weekdays 11 to 2 on Nashville's Sports Radio.
Well, Adam Schefter is reporting the Saints and the Broncos are finalizing a deal which will make Sean Payton the next head coach of the Broncos. Now, a couple packages that have been thrown out there that I guess it's up to the Saints to pick one. Denver's first-round pick this upcoming draft and next year's second-round pick for Sean Payton and the Saints' 2024 third-round pick. So they would swap second and third-round picks in 2024. So this year's first and then swapping second and third in 2024. Or Denver's first-round pick in 2024 and it's – okay. So the fourth-round pick this year and a first-round pick in 2024.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'd rather have the 1 and the 2.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, why would you want the first and the fourth? What's the advantage of that? Unless you think.
Well, why would you want? Sean Payton's going to be their coach next year.
Yeah.
Do you think the draft stock is going to go up? Like you're going to get a better draft position?
I wouldn't think so.
With a year under Sean Payton? That doesn't make any sense. Devin, what are we doing?
I've got massive breaking news once again. All right, former 49ers defensive coordinator D'Amico Ryans.
Yeah.
And the Houston Texans reached an agreement today on a 6-year deal.
Yeah. Okay. 6 years.
Okay.
Well, that's how bad they wanted him.
Thank you, Devlin.
So, again, the worst-kept secret is finally out. So,
6-year deal. Okay.
I don't understand why. Why do they feel the need to give him 6 years?
Well, because they gave the last 2 coaches, I don't know how long their contracts were, but they fired them after 1 and done.
Yeah.
And again, the contracts are guaranteed. So if you're D'Amico Ryans, you go, listen, the only way I'm coming up in here is if you guys guarantee me 6 years because you guys were 1 and done with the last 2 straight head coaches.
Okay.
That's why.
Whew. All right. There we go. A lot of breaking news, like I said. So D'Amico Ryans will now be in the AFC South again. This time on the sidelines as a head coach, not a player.
Hope springs eternal.
Yeah,
and he's got a high draft pick. They're probably going to pick a quarterback and
number 2 overall.
Here we go with the rebuild.
Yep,
down in Houston.
So I would say New Orleans will pick door number 1 is what I would think.
The first and the second.
This year's first and next year's second.
That sounds good to me.
You got Sean Payton next year.
Let's do
and if there's anybody you can change Russell Wilson back into even a version close of Russell Wilson, it's Sean Payton.
You would think.
If Russell Wilson looks like Russell Wilson this year, next year, ain't nobody fixing him.
No.
This is what he is.
No.
He gone.
Yeah.
Whatever reason, he hit the proverbial wall. He's done.
Yeah.
And Denver's out a whole lot of money.
Yeah. It's a big move for the brand new ownership out there.
And Sean Payton will turn him around.
No. Well,
he's got to return to form. That's the only chance they have.
Oh, yeah. No, the whole thing's built into him.
Yeah.
The Broncos and the Browns are in the same situation, essentially, where they've given the farm to this quarterback now. And whether or not the health of their entire franchise is on whether or not this quarterback succeeds or not.
Yeah,
That's it.
Denver and Cleveland are right now in the waters. And they're either going to sink or they're going to swim.
Yeah.
With Deshaun Watson on one side and Russell Wilson and Sean Payton on the other side.
Yep.
We'll see who's going to be swimming
and
who's going to be at the bottom.
And this game of survivor where you are already in a conference with what looks like 4 Hall of Famers potentially in their prime.
Yeah.
At quarterback, all around you. So you're trying to compete. This is what you got to do to compete.
Let's go to Tony in Nolensville. Tony, what's up?
Good afternoon, guys. I have taken it upon myself to name this 2-hour segment each day as the Mac Attack 2-hour segment. Now, I don't know if that is infringing on a certain fast food restaurant if they have that title patented.
Well, wish they would sponsor it, and then we wouldn't worry about it.
We wouldn't.
We would just say it all the time.
They'll welcome aboard.
That is true.
While we eat during the breaks.
Absolutely.
There you go. Thank you for having the GOAT on. A couple of weeks ago, I brought up a question about just his, the recruiting situation, and I by no means want anybody to even think that I would ever be down on Tim Corbin. He is one phenomenal individual. I love the guy. He's great for Nashville, great for all of baseball, and of course, great for Vanderbilt. But he is phenomenal. And Justin, you were talking about his memory.
Yes, sir.
If you've ever attended something special, I'm going to tell you what's special to attend. Go to the opening baseball banquet that starts before the season.
Okay.
And he can recite every player on that roster, their statistics coming out of high school, their statistics, what they did last year playing, their parents, their background. He does it with the coaches, and he does it all by memory. It's unbelievable how just to see this guy do this, and it's on the baseball banquet each year in February.
That's a gift. That is a gift.
Oh, it is an unbelievable gift. And, guys, I saw this last night, maybe over the weekend. Well, this week, when's the groundhog come out? Is that on the 2nd or is that
Thursday.
The 1st of February?
Second.
Thursday. Well, we've already started to see the basketball groundhog making his predictions. And is it Lenardi? How does it just goes all over me each year that he starts coming out and starts making all these predictions, first 4 in, last 4 out, first 4 out, blah, blah, blah. And, I mean, he's good at what he does to an extent, but I think a lot of times he's overkill with it. I think he a lot of times becomes the guy that does the political stuff, Granecki, on these national news affiliate stations.
Tony,
I mean,
he doesn't care, man. As long as you're talking about him, that's his goal.
And you're right, and he, but it just wears me out that we're already starting to hear about it. And don't tell me when it gets election Sunday that these commissioners, these athletic directors don't go in that meeting room and they said they block all that out. They don't listen to it. Good and well, they take in his accounts on a lot of these selections they do. Don't y'all agree with that?
I think it's the other way around. I think they have been talking to him perhaps more than they've been listening to him, if you understand what I'm getting at, Tony.
That's my point.
I think the relationship is the other way around, sir. No, I'm saying I'm thinking they're not taking his advice into account. I think he's taking their advice into account.
Maybe so, but it just kills me. I mean, we've still got a lot of basketball left, but it's already starting, and I'm like, already, seriously, dude,
Did you look at it?
Did
you look at it, Tony?
Do what?
Did you look at it when he put it out?
It changes. It changes almost daily.
Did you look at what he put out?
No.
You didn't. You felt compelled to call about it, but you didn't look at it.
I will call about it because I don't care. I don't care about it, but I get upset. That first thing you're watching a ball game, and these announcers throw it on the screen, and I'm like, I don't care about this. I don't even care about it. And I'm like, why are they already throwing this out here now? And with still so much basketball to play. No, it just irritates them. Which brings me to
look. I understand what you're getting at, Tony.
I do too.
But here's the deal, because I'm with you. Like I understand it's overkill and it changes. Like it's silly. Like you're not wrong.
It's like the mock draft.
By the way, he's not wrong because you know why? It's ever changing.
Yeah.
It's constantly evolving. So he can say, "Hey, well, that's what I had." 3 weeks before the conference, before they started the conference tournaments.
Yeah.
Like, so the point is, look, I feel exactly like you, but you know what? Who was this? This is Bill Bender. Bill Bender. We'll probably get him on the show, and you'll probably make you mad. Bill Bender, Sporting News, put one out today too, and I was reading it. And I was reading it, Tony. I was looking at it, and I'm like, what am I doing? I don't care, but I was looking. That's the point.
And Darren, let me ask you this: where did and when did he become the guru? When?
Who, Joe?
Yes.
When ESPN propped him up.
Let's say.
Look, how did Matthew Berry become the fantasy football guy? Because ESPN propped him up. Joe Lunardi, how did he become the bracketology? Because ESPN, his employer, propped him up. That's what they did. They created him.
Same place Mel Kiper came from. Same place.
Yeah.
Mayock.
Mel Kiper and Todd McShay. Same deal.
Where did Todd McShay come from?
Are they draft gurus? No, they're not.
Have they been general managers? Have they been?
Their picks have been atrocious over the years. But you know what? Again, it's an inexact science, and people will click on their stuff, and people will watch what they say, even though they are incredibly wrong all the time. But ESPN props them up.
Props them up. Well, last but not least, so what do you think might be the outcome of tonight's Vandy-Bama game? You think it's going to be ugly? Either one of y'all?
Well, considering what the timing is awful, right? Because Alabama just got, mopped on Saturday.
Race.
Yeah, they got embarrassed. In fact, to an unranked team. And I don't believe anybody's been beat that badly, that highly ranked by an unranked team. I think that's the stat I saw. So they're going to be incredibly mad. It's down there. I just think this is I hate it because I think it's a tough spot. Yeah.
Could be. Yeah. Guys, thank you for taking the calls. Great show. Thank you for having Corbs on today.
Yes,
Good
sir.
deal.
Plan on doing it more. Thank you, Tony. Yeah, that is the goal, to have Corbs joining us all the time on this show. So,
excellent.
Yeah. Let's go down to Columbia. Nate, you're up next. Welcome in.
What's up, guys? So I finished listening to the POP band, and I do have to say I've listened to all of them that you and Kara have been doing. Y'all been doing a great job.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. We're having fun.
Yeah, I especially loved the one with Wayne D. That was a very entertaining one.
It really was, Nate. And I don't want that to come off poorly, but I don't really know Wayne. But I've we've gotten to know each other a little bit since. I really enjoyed it, and that was a lot of fun. And I didn't really know what we were gonna get out of that because I didn't really know Wayne. We really haven't had any interaction, but he was very complimentary of the podcast as well. Very complimentary before we even started. Said he listens every one that comes out. And we had a lot of fun. Yeah, he was great. Thanks for saying that.
I didn't know that he was originally in Vegas.
Yeah, I didn't either. I didn't either till I was prepping for the interview. No, I didn't either.
Yeah, that was very cool to find out.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, are y'all going to be paying attention to the skills competition and the All-Star games this weekend?
NHL? Yeah.
I'll have it on, sure.
Darren, you were talking about some of the All-Star competition with Kara and, oh my gosh, the beat reporter for the Preds. I can't remember her name right now.
Emma Lincoln.
Yeah, Emma Lincoln. did you go and research any of what else is going to be coming?
No. Are you going to inform us?
So there is the only other thing that I know of for a fact, and this is because of another podcast that I listened to out of Canada, 32 Thoughts. They are going to be doing something that is going to be called, Pitch and Puck, P-U-C-K.
Okay.
So there have been rumors that they are going to incorporate number 17 at TPC Sawgrass in some fashion in a competition. And whether they're going to be at the actual course or whether they're going to recreate it for a more hockey viable way of, doing whatever they're going to be doing, that I'm really excited to see what that's going to be like from a golf perspective and a hockey perspective.
I think Emma brought that up in the latest podcast, but either she told us that off the air. I'm pretty sure she told us in the podcast. I'd have to go back.
I don't remember. I don't remember
she
hearing
did.
it.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, they are going to a golf course. Yep.
And there's also something that's going to apparently, now this is from a different podcast that I listened to, so it may or may not be true. There's going to be something about gators that they're going to be doing. Like shooting, it is Florida, maybe
after all.
Meat pucks in the gators' mouths or something like that.
Maybe it sounds like somebody needs to be signing some insurance waivers.
Yeah, it does. But, yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm just really interested with all this information that I've been hearing to see what it's going to look like and everything.
Yeah, I think the thing with the Gators is just I think Tim Tebow is going to be there. I think that's what it is.
Oh, special guest.
Yeah.
Special guest.
Special Gator guest, Tim Tebow.
It's a good.
Well, I like, in all seriousness, I like that they're thinking outside the box.
They're doing creative.
Yeah, they're trying to be creative,
exactly.
and we're talking about it, right? So mission accomplished.
Yeah, when they come to Nashville, they'll be using guitars for slap shots next time.
I think they were attempting to do that before.
Maybe they'll be shooting the meat pucks off of the roof of the arena because it is in the middle of the swamp. So.
Yep, it is.
Very
it's
creative.
out in the middle of nowhere. In Sunrise,
Y'all have a great
Florida.
day, guys.
Thank you, Nate.
Thank you, Nate.
So it looks like Broncos have chosen, or the Saints, excuse me, door number 1. Shocking. I am just mind blown.
Yes.
According to Ian Rappaport. A first-round pick this year, a second-round pick next year. Wow. I mean, just shocking.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's kind of where they needed to go.
How did we know that? We're like so smart.
Yeah.
Man, we're good. That's why you listen. We'll come back. More of the McFarland Show next.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary. Subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all areas. Actual Pie customer.
The other workers' comp insurance company, they were going to reclassify our business, and then they were going to charge me $50,000.
Meet Natalie, owner of the carpentry shop. Shocked by an unexpected bill, she knew it was time to switch her workers' comp provider. That's when she found Pie Insurance.
When we got the quote back from Pie, it was a sigh of relief. They put us in a policy where we fit.
Is your small business overpaying for workers' comp insurance? See how much you could save at iwantpie.com. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified.
I'm grateful that there's a company out there that's willing to insure us little guys because every dollar counts.
With Pie Insurance, you get pricing and coverage made for small businesses. What are you waiting for? Ask your agent for Pie or get a quote in 3 minutes at iwantpie.com. That's iwantpie.com.
What happens to your decision making when you drink? Well, after one drink, you feel confident. A few more, and calling your ex at 1 a.m. seems like a great idea. And you're pretty sure the secret to a great taco is 4-day-old macaroni. The bottom line, drunk you doesn't make great decisions. So you're risking a DUI or worse if you count on him to get you home. Plan before you party. Get home safe. Paid for by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-785-9132. That's 800-785-9132. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-785-9132.
When you're away from home and you want down-home cooking, Kitchen Notes at the Omni Nashville Hotel is the answer. Excellent, fresh, and local, just like Grandma used to make. Start your day with a Music City omelet and some prime rib hash, or a cast iron waffle with Nashville hot chicken. For those wanting variety, hit the biggest breakfast buffet in Music City. And of course, the world-famous Biscuit Bar. Start your day with the fresh, local, and down-home cooking of Kitchen Notes at the Omni Nashville Hotel, 5th Avenue, downtown.
It's the afternoon stretch with Zach Williams and Bruno Reagan.
You know what the Mets stand for?
Metropolitan.
Yeah, that one.
Metropolitan is a flavor of ice cream, right?
Neapolitan.
Oh, okay.
Was that real?
I mean, half and half.
Oh, man. You talk about throwing me off complete. My equator is gone.
The afternoon stretch. Afternoon stretch with Zach Williams and Bruno Reagan.
So I do remember, Justin, that Denver's pick was given away to Seattle. So
Yes.
their pick is very high. That's not the pick that New Orleans is getting. They're actually getting pick 29 from the 49ers.
Okay, well, you know.
So I guess maybe now that I think about it, it was.
So it's really 2 second-round picks,
Yeah,
essentially, if you want to
well,
look at it in a certain way.
Kind of, sort of way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still, it's the better solution.
Yeah, it's the better, yeah.
But I was
you wanna
like,
do
they
that.
got a high pick.
Yeah.
Well, they're not going to be that high. And it's like, oh, that's right. They don't have a high pick because they gave away the farm to get Russell Wilson.
It's all gravy for the Saints. It's fine.
It does seem like this is going to be really difficult for Denver to. I think when you have that much invested in a coach and a quarterback that right now doesn't look like the same quarterback.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to really expect to be true contenders.
Well, plus you
anytime
haven't factored in the fact that they're in the division with, Patrick Mahomes, and they're in the division with Justin Herbert.
And I don't know, whoever the Raiders
And whatever is going on in Las Vegas.
Because it seems
and whatever they decide to do out there with that.
If you start reading social media and you start looking at stuff, it seems like the new dot connecting is TB12 to Northern California.
Oh, you know
to
what?
San Francisco and not Vegas.
Yeah, and that means, I've seen all the rumors, and I'm sure you've seen it too. According to everybody else, Trey Lance is supposed to arrive here at some point next week.
I think it was Mike Sando just put that out on The Athletic.
And, via trade and listen,
Yes.
I'm not saying it can't happen. I don't know. I'm just saying that, that's the latest rumor, and now Brock Purdy will be the backup because Tom Brady is going home, and all they got to do is get Brady in the room with Joe Montana and John Lynch and all the other 49ers legends, and he'll sign the deal.
By the way, just to show people how tough Brock Purdy is and then how bad he was really hurt, he had a torn UCL.
Yeah.
That's basically Tommy John surgery.
Yeah.
To get him back.
Yeah.
It was a major injury.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
He's in there trying to
So I think it was Mike Sando from The Athletic, and we just had him on not long ago. Maybe time to circle back around to him. I think he put out there Trey Lance to Nashville. If that happened, what do you think the reaction in this market would be? Like, what would our callers say?
Man, listen. Some people would love it. Some people would hate it, as always.
So you think it would be a mixed bag?
Oh, very much so. very much so a mixed bag. And, people would be like, well, I wanted a younger, more. What has Trey Lance done? He hasn't done anything. I saw something interesting today on Twitter about this exact issue. And the Twitter handle, whatever it was absolutely correct. There are people who would call and say, I don't want Trey Lance because Trey Lance hasn't proven anything in his time in the NFL. What did you want to do instead? Oh, I want to draft someone. Well, what has the draft pick proven exactly? that you want? The draft pick hasn't proven anything either.
Nothing.
He's proven absolutely nothing. So you would want a draft pick, but you don't want Trey Lance.
Okay, I agree. So here's why I would lean towards, because it's not going to be a 50-50 split. I agree with you. It's going to be a mixed bag, but one of the bags is going to lean heavier than the other bag.
That's probably true.
And so you kind of were painting the picture. You believe the bag that leans the heaviest a little bit could be the, what do we know about him? We don't know if he's any good.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's my counter to that. The new general manager who would make that trade was in those rooms.
He was.
And did a whole lot of studying of Trey Lance.
He did.
And they did a whole lot of homework on Trey Lance.
They did.
So much that they were willing to give up a lot to get him.
To move up to get him.
Okay, they felt very compelled that Trey Lance was going to be a star in this league.
Yes.
They did a lot. They moved some mountains.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to San Francisco. They have hills. They don't really.
They do have hills.
Really,
the Full House hills, like the Full House.
A lot of hills.
The Full House.
They moved hills
up on a hill.
Yes, to get Trey Lance. And the other thing that I would like about it is when we think of the 49ers, do we think of them as a good drafting team or not so good drafting team?
Good.
There you go.
Very good.
A franchise who's been drafting well.
Yes.
And a general manager that just came from that franchise that drafts well.
Yes.
So, therefore, I would lean into the bag of, I think it's good.
Yes. No, and I would think it's good, too.
What's he done? We don't know.
Yeah.
He may be a bust. Okay.
People aren't thinking like that, though. People are just reacting to the natural thing that comes across. Listen, the fan base is going to be disgruntled until the Lombardi gets here. That's just the way it's going to be. So no move that this franchise makes is going to be universally liked or loved, I think, unless it's just firing people. We like doing that, so let's fire the person. And then whoever they bring in, though, is going to have a cloud over them until the Lombardi gets here. That's just the way this is going to go, no matter what move is made.
The other thing, Justin, is it's the unknown should create excitement. No disrespect, but if I'm saying that,
here comes some disrespect.
Here comes probably a healthy dose of disrespect.
Hold on, everybody. There's some disrespect ready to come from Darren McFarland. Here we go.
We know what Ryan Tannehill is.
I think we do at this point.
Okay? We know what he is. And everything's got to line up perfectly.
Yeah.
The stars have to line up perfectly for everything to come together for the Titans to make the long run. And
here's the problem with that. The call is going to come in and say, you know with Ryan Tannehill, but I know where Trey Lance is too, and that's hurt. He's been hurt the whole time he's been in the NFL.
Fair. Okay.
There's somebody saying it in their car right now.
And how did Ryan Tannehill's season end?
He was hurt.
So maybe
he was hurt in Miami too.
So that's why Miami gave up, because he was hurt a lot.
Their quarterbacks.
And this just in. He's not getting any younger.
No.
So I think that would be a good thing. I do, even though it's the unknown. But the unknown for a young player should create excitement. Ryan Tannehill's going to be 34.
Yeah.
Again, no disrespect.
No disrespect. Stand by for disrespect.
But we know what he is.
Yeah.
There's nothing new there. There's no curiosity. There's nothing new. It's not like, well, that's interesting. Didn't know Ryan Tannehill was going to bring that to the table this year.
No.
That's not what we'll be
He's
saying next year.
He's probably not going to find a whole new game next year.
He's not.
Now, here's the other thing that we're not talking about yet, but we need to be, and that is that the 49ers have just had their defensive coordinator hired by the Houston Texans.
And now he's in the division.
And here's
facing you twice.
Here's what we need to be thinking about. As we talked about, we have already asked every NFL analyst that we've had on how many players from the San Francisco 49ers are going to end up with the Titans next year because their director of player personnel is now the GM of the Titans. The same exact question can be asked. How many players from the 49ers next year or last year are going to end up with the Houston Texans? Because you know who else was privy to some of those meetings and information about Trey Lance? And you know what other team that's currently looking for a quarterback right now? That would be the Houston Texans. And do you think the Houston Texans and their brand new head coach might be more comfortable with the quarterback they already know versus picking somebody from college and they can spend that number 2 overall pick elsewhere? I think they might be interested in that. I'm just saying.
They got the second pick of the draft.
So,
they get to pick whatever quarterback they want.
Yeah, but it's the unknown though.
I know, Justin, but I know you can't do this. So just hear me out.
All right, man,
I know you can't do this. But in that market, whatever that market fans identify, whether it's Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, right, whatever. That's what they've envisioned, that guy. That's who I'm getting the jersey of, and that's who I'm buying tickets for. That's our new guy.
That guy's going to glory.
I don't want Trey Lance. Like, he couldn't make it to San Francisco. Well, let's go and get our own guy. He's right here in the draft. He's ours for the taking. We get the first quarterback in the draft. I'm just saying it wouldn't go over well.
I know. I got you.
All right. We'll come back. We'll step away and wrap up Tuesday's edition of the McFarland Show. We'll do that next.
What's your next dream? Paying off your credit card, remodeling your kitchen, exploring the rainforests of Costa Rica? Whatever your dreams, they take some planning. And State Farm agent Austin Hardy is right here in the Middle Tennessee community to lend a hand. As your local good neighbor, he can help you look at the things you want to save for and come up with a plan to make those saving goals happen. Because your money should work just as hard as you to achieve your dream. So whether it's being free of debt or free to roam the world, call State Farm agent Austin Hardy here in the Middle Tennessee community. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Are you looking for a trusted partner who knows AT&T business inside and out? ABS Communications is an organization built on the premise that telecom solutions and working with companies like AT&T can often be complicated, and the customer needs someone to help them navigate through these complexities. They make complex simple. Whether it's helping maintain, manage, or secure your business, ABS Communications is here to help with all your business telecom and mobility needs. Their business was built with the goal of simplifying the process of connectivity for the customer and establishing a long-term relationship of trust through transparency and accountability. ABS Communications is a top 5 AT&T authorized agent with over 200 years of AT&T technical experience. You can call Mark and the gang at 615-349-8588, or you can visit their website at abscomm.net. And remember, mention the McFarland Show to ABS, and you could get up to $250 in a Visa gift card for new ABS business customers.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Bundling car and renter's insurance with Geico is so easy, your neighbors are probably already doing it. But who? Look for the signs. Chances are they live in a home and have a car. They use money and enjoy having more of it. They probably drink lots of lemonade. Lemonade. And they've probably said something suspicious like, "I'm bundling with Geico," or "Stop spying on me with those binoculars." If so, you may want to ask them how easy it was to bundle with Geico. Bundling is easy with Geico. Just ask your neighbors.
Dazzling diamonds, royal rubies, elegant emeralds, and stunning sapphires. Now's the time to discover an exquisite variety of radiant, prize-winning jewels that are set to take your breath away. This gorgeous, one-of-a-kind display won't be found at the finest jewelry stores, but rather at your nearest Tennessee Lottery retailer with Jumbo Bucks Jewels Instant Games. Collect glistening top prizes of up to $300,000 and make every win sparkle. Only from the Tennessee Lottery. Game-changing fun. Please play responsibly.
It's a Bill King Show.
smoked a turkey. Smoked it about 9 hours. You know the little red button? I've never liked that, first of all, and I don't trust it. The internal temperature is what you should trust, not the stupid red button. That red button never popped out either, and I was starting to get worried because my wife likes the red button. I don't.
Weekday mornings beginning at 6 on Sports Radio 560 on 95.9 FM.
I've seen this band many times, and I liked them. So, all the Nickelback haters. No, there's a lot out there. I don't know what.
I don't know. Okay, if you say so, I'm not trying to fight you about it.
Well, you don't know anything about that? No?
About Nickelback hate? No,
Yeah,
no, I
it's
don't. I
real,
don't know anything
Justin.
about that.
It's real.
Okay.
It's real, man.
All right, if you say so.
Kind of like it's real. That man, there's new Adam Schefter. Whew. Him and Ian Rappaport just are going back and forth. Breaking news, this. 49ers have requested to interview Chris Harris for their D.C. spot.
To be the defensive coordinator, okay.
Yeah, to be the defensive coordinator. Of course, DeMeco Ryans just named Texans' new head coach. They gave him a 6-year deal. Now, we just had Chris Harris a couple weeks ago on the show, WSMV's Chris Harris.
Mm-hmm.
Just to clarify, this is not Channel 4's Chris Harris. This is the one that was a former player and has been a coach in the league.
Okay.
Not just it's not TV Chris Harris.
Coming over from the Commanders, correct? Okay.
Correct.
So he was hired, according to USA Today, Titans Wire. They reported that Chris Harris was hired to be the Titans' defensive passing game coordinator.
That's what
So that is what you said.
That's what I said during the break. I
Yes.
go, didn't the Titans hire him?
Yes. Yes, they did. But now he's being offered a full-blown
A bigger job.
DC job now. Or, in theory, he's being interviewed for one.
Well, I don't know. I
And the
shouldn't
Titans
say
already
that.
have a DC.
Well, I was gonna
so,
say,
I mean, what do you got to do?
Yeah.
So if they lose him, they lose him. And then you have to search for a brand new defensive passer, defensive, what is it? Defensive pass game coordinator.
Yeah, sure.
There you go.
Yep. Whatever you say.
I'm still not sure what that is, but okay.
I'm sure it's a busy job.
Next football.
I'm sure of it.
Next football player in here, we got what is the defensive? Never mind. Continue.
If he stays here, we can have him on and ask him.
That would be great. I'm very curious as to what the job duties are.
Exactly what do you do again?
He's a defensive pass coordinator. Whatever.
Woo. That's another fast-moving show.
A lot going on.
That'll do it for us today. Remember, be cognizant of the weather.
Yes.
Maybe some freezing rain, so just be aware of that. Have a great and safe rest of your Tuesday. We'll talk to you tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Afternoon Stretch is next.